Yo dudes, what's up? This is PlanetKeef, I'm Keef, and today I'm going to show you some modifications and upcycling that I've done to create a really wonderfully adjustable camera mount. So if you saw my last video about all the projects that I've started but never finished, you'll recognise this beastie because at one point this was going to be an adjustable LED video light with a biscuit tin and LED strips inside mounted on there, but for various reasons that never happened, and now I've got all kinds of video lights and I don't really need another one because well, I've got a more urgent need, which is as an adjustable mount for this camera, because what I was using, this kind of Z thing, you know, the camera screws onto there, that screws onto a tripod or something, and these knurled fittings are supposed to hold it rigidly, but they've become quite slack so that, you know, they really don't do the job anymore. So what I did was I removed the shade which was clamped into this ring. There's a little nut and bolt, and there's also a notch inside that stops whatever you put in it from rotating. So I designed and 3D printed a holder, which is this. This is a standard Arca Swiss sized and shaped housing. And this is a bracket that can fit into the camera standard 1/4 inch screw thread. And you can see I've marked on there what will be a cutout when I reprint this. So this flap, which contains the battery and the memory card, can actually open while it's still got this attached, which will save me a lot of messing about. So this just slots into there now, like that, and that is our wonderful camera mount. And it surprises me that it's actually strong enough to hold it, because this probably weighs about ½ kilo. I've tried it with my bigger one, which is more DSLR sized. It doesn't hold that very well. But this is absolutely fine for my B camera. Now, one other thing about this, because it was a light fitting, it's got a power cable threaded through the arms. So I just cut it at that end, and I've left the rest of it on with the plug and a switch, because at some point, I don't know, but I might fit some kind of light fitting onto there, and that would be handy to have that cable running through. So that's one part of it, and the next part is it needs to fit on a slider. This is the slider, kindly donated by Niwa the year or so ago, and it has these little legs on the ends, which I've never really used because I don't have a big table space to stand it on. And I'll fix this onto the threaded screw thingy there, and the camera onto there. But as I've said, this is not so good now. So what I've been doing to support this slider was using a couple of light stands that screw into there, and it's a bit fiddly, so fiddly in fact that a couple of weeks ago I completely stripped the thread in this one. I can't actually use 2 light stands anymore, which is a good thing because I'm forever tripping over them, and yeah, and they take quite a while to put them up and take them down. So they're gone. And in place of the 2 light stands, I've got this somewhat cheap and nasty keyboard stand. I mean, I say it's cheap and nasty, but it does the job, and it's quite easy to open and close. You can't see that now, can you? Let me find something to stand it on. So this just sits on there. This is the slidey bit, by the way. There is a slight problem with this because that threaded screw thing, I can't remove it. The other end of it is a hexagonal bolt head, but I have a million Allen keys, but some of them almost fit, but not quite. So what I've had to do is use a roll of tape as a spacer, or I just stand the camera on there, which obviously isn't ideal because it's a bit loose, and if that falls off, that's going to be au revoir camera kind of thing, so I don't want that. So first of all, I made some little brackets that connect these end bits onto these tubes. So that semicircular bit fits on the tube, and the big slot fits over the end bit, and then we can just put the nut and bolt through there to secure it. This is a prototype, and you know, it's not going to be in use for too long, I don't think, because my next stage is to make a motorised version. Yes, finally. So they just sit on there, and you notice I have to squeeze them together a little bit. It's deliberate, so it puts them under tension and makes it a bit secure. So I've done a bit of work with a connector to actually fix the Anglepoise onto the platform. So it's just a little 3D printed thing and a threaded brass insert. I can't find the footage of me putting that in, but it's okay because I've got to do another one, so I'll show you how that's done. But that just screws on there, and the threaded brass insert is specifically 1/4 inch and 20 pitch. Okay, so which means 20 threads per inch, I think. Don't accept a metric alternative. M6 is not the same as 1/4 inch. It's very close, but it's not exactly right, and it won't fit. So there we go. That means working on to stop it rocking about, and also this needs to be wider because it does tip. I know I said earlier that I would keep the cable and the plug and the switch, but actually they're just getting in the way, so I've cut them off. I've kept them, but yeah. And that just sits in there. Let's put the camera on. It's fairly secure, but I'm not massively happy with it. So I designed a bigger one that just spreads the load out over a larger area. And this hasn't got its insert in yet, so I'll show you how that's done. Woo! So I deliberately made the hole in the plastic a little bit undersized, because what we do with these inserts is we melt them in. So you want a heat source. I've got a heat gun. You could maybe do it with a hairdryer, I don't know, but a heat gun obviously is much more powerful. It goes up to 500 degrees Celsius, so you wouldn't want to dry your hair with that. But it can melt plastic like a very hot heat source. So what you want to do is screw a bolt in to hold the insert using pliers. Don't even think about using your hands, you will burn them. And, well, just heat it up until you think it's hot enough to melt the plastic. And then plunge it in, wiggle it and push it, and try to get it in straight. And then you can tighten it onto the platform and pop your camera thing in. So here it is in all its glory, and you know, it's so manoeuvrable, and I love the way that, you know, the parallel motion, if you like, of the two sticks keep it in position. It's great. I like it. So that's it for now. Next time I'll be working on these devices for fixing it to the X-Wing fighter stand, and also the beginnings of motorising it. Yay! So, thanks for watching. See you next time.